Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Sarasota. We're here to support you in finding a personal relationship with the God of your understanding and in discovering what you already know. I am Reverend Karen Wolfson, the founding minister and spiritual leader of this center, and I greet you with Namaste. Namaste is Sanskrit, and it means the divinity in me recognizes and honors the divinity in you. Now, let's begin by joining our voices, wherever you are, to read aloud our vision and our mission, and the words can be seen on your screen. Our vision is empowering spiritual growth as a loving, inclusive, worldwide community. Our mission, we teach science of mind principles and other life-affirming spiritual truths. We explore, we learn, we grow, we connect, honoring all paths to God. We offer in-person and online weekly services, classes, workshops, affirmative prayer support, and other spiritual tools. We create opportunities for joyful social connection, community outreach, and service. And we celebrate the awakening of our innate spiritual magnificence. And now I invite you to join me in pausing and taking a few moments to go within. I encourage you to get comfortable. Relax your body, close your eyes, and allow your mind chatter to slow down and your breathing to be gentle. Find your inner stillness as Fawny Frost with Bob Teasdale sets the tone for us with Janice Stansfield's song, Increase My Faith.
Increase my faith in the things I cannot see, the things I cannot prove, yet I choose to believe. When my confidence fades, it's these words I pray. I increase my faith, increase my faith. Open my mind to the things I need to know, thoughts I need to hold, and the ones I can let go. Help me be wise, see the world through others' eyes. I open my mind, open my mind. Peaceful and free, that's how I want to be. The gift I want to give to the people I meet. Let each of us sing our own harmony, high, peaceful and free, peaceful and free. increase my faith in the things I cannot see, the things I cannot prove, yet I choose to believe. When my confidence fades, it's these words I pray. I increase my faith, increase my faith, increase my faith.
Increase my faith in the things I cannot see, in the things I cannot prove, and yet I choose to believe. Open my mind to the things I need to know, thoughts I need to hold, and the ones I can let go. When my confidence fades, it's these words I pray. Increase my faith. I invite you to take these affirming words into your heart and let them refresh your spirit. At the center of my being, there is complete poise, faith, and confidence, because I am an individualization of pure spirit. This spirit, the presence of God, knows no worry, doubt, or fear. In my humanness, I sometimes am distracted by the things I see, by outer conditions, and then I realize that at any time I can choose to trust in the things I cannot see, in the invisible, vast, and loving presence of God. It supports and guides me, so when I retune my thoughts, my faith, I feel safe. I have a childlike faith and trust, and so I place my affairs in the hands of Spirit. In this place, I am clear and strong. My faith penetrates the clouds of doubt, revealing this beautiful and ever-present truth of my being. God and I are one, and nothing can obstruct this inner divine pattern. As I rest in this clarity, I know that what is truly mine is coming to me. So I carefully guard my thoughts and put my whole trust, my whole faith, my whole confidence in the goodness of God. I am filled with calm confidence and expectancy, knowing I am drawing my good to me. It is transpiring in the invisible at this very moment. I talk to God, the power that created me out of itself. It knows me intimately and responds to my desires in ways beyond my wildest dreams, generously and abundantly bringing this or something better. For all of this, I am so grateful. And so it is. It is such a pleasure to be welcoming today's guest speaker. He is licensed spiritual practitioner Ron Frost. Ron is an author, among many things. He wrote a wonderful book titled Getting Unstuck. The subtitle is 9 Keys to Creating More Prosperity, Fulfillment, and Joy in Your Life. It's a terrific book, and I invite you to check it out. Ron is a leadership consultant, a motivational speaker, and as a sales and master life coach, he's founder of Positive Momentum Coaching. And most importantly, Ron is our own Center for Spiritual Living Sarasota special cyber tech hero. And I say that because since the mid-March 2020 impact of the pandemic, Ron has been beyond generous with his time, his skill, and talent in making it possible for us to make the sudden transition to offering these weekly services on Facebook and on YouTube. He has not missed a week. We simply could not do this without you, Ron. Thank you, thank you. Now, our theme for June is prayer, and we've titled it Talking to God. The first Sunday's guest speaker, Reverend Joel Fotino, started us off with Talking to God, the experience of spiritual mind treatment. In the remaining 3 Sundays, the messages are being presented by our spiritual practitioners. And this is your opportunity to be inspired by the deep wisdom they have to share. And I want to remind you that among the many services they offer is that of personalized spiritual coaching sessions, consisting of conversation and prayer where they will guide you and support you in seeing and experiencing the transforming spiritual truth that is greater than whatever your challenge. As Wayne Dyer wrote, there is a spiritual solution to every problem. Now, details about contacting them will be posted at the end of this program. So 2 weeks ago, Jim Grove's message was the second in our series, Talking to God, You're Always Doing It. And last Sunday, Kathleen Frankert spoke about talking to God, what's the big idea? Today, wrapping up this series for you, Ron's message is Talking to God, this or something better. I know he will inspire you with this message. But first, to open our hearts to receive Ron's message, we have a special treat. We have guest musicians Kelsey Kaplan and Kevin Maki. Kelsey Kaplan is a singer-songwriter with a bachelor's degree from Berklee College of Music. And in addition to singing and writing songs, she is a music therapist and a special education interventionist. Kelsey is joined by Kevin Maki, a multi-talented musician who plays many musical instruments. And Kevin has a degree in music education and teaches elementary school music. And he is the nephew of today's speaker, Ron Frost. I love Kelsey's mantra. It is, where words fail, music speaks. Oh, that's so true. So here are Kelsey and Kevin with Accentuate the Positive. Welcome, Kelsey and Kevin.
Gotta accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, and latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with mystery in between. You gotta spread joy up to the maximum, bring gloom down to a minimum. Have faith or pandemonium's liable to walk upon the scene. To illustrate my last remark, total in the well, no one in the ark. What did they do just when everything looks so dark? You gotta accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, and latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In Between. You gotta accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In Between. Don't mess with Mr. In Between. Don't mess with Mr. In Between. Don't mess with Mr. In Between.
Thank you, Reverend Karen, for that wonderful introduction. And wow, Kelsey and Kevin, that was amazing. Accentuate the positive. And exactly where I'm going to take my message today. And for those of you who don't know, Kevin is actually my nephew, and there's really only one of them. So I don't know how he does this duplication on the screen, but there's no twin. There's only one amazing Kevin Maki, gifted musician, and so is Kelsey. And the two of them actually gig quite often in the Connecticut area, and we're truly blessed to have them with us here today. And so as Reverend Karen shared with you just a moment ago, that this is part of a 4-part series, the month-long series of Talking to God, which is all about prayer. And so we've learned about the power of prayer, we've learned about the fact that we're always doing it, we've contemplated that bigger idea. But what happens when we just feel as if the divine is not hearing us? We're expressing, we're praying, we may be even working with a practitioner, but we become lost and feeling like we're not being heard. Our prayers are not being answered. Now, we know the prayer is always working. We know that the law is always working, and we know that it's impersonal, so it doesn't treat anybody better than anybody else. But sometimes I think we get in our way. And so today I want to talk a little bit about what are some of the things and what can we do to be able to get out of our way to allow the divine to be able to express to us the very thing that we want to manifest in our life. Now, whether it is, the situation is around a job that we're seeking, or desperate need for finances, or a relationship challenge, a health challenge, it all applies regardless of what the thing is going on in our life. And sometimes it comes down to the very moment that we surrender, that we just allow the this or the something better, something beyond what we really know. And so as I've contemplated this actually falls within several areas. Number one, we may just not feel worthy. That's quite often the case. And this can come out of our childhood. It can come out of many things, but we don't feel deserving of it. Or we doubt the very thing we're asking for. Or we actually sometimes get trapped in, proclaiming exactly what we want and seeing it and affirming it, but then, we turn back to the garbage pile, right? We turn back to the unwanted thing and totally take our vision off that golden rainbow that we're seeking. It could be many things, but I think truly it's surrendering. And with the situation where when we have that, that dominant pain, that dominant issue that's coming up, it's about turning away from that and surrendering to the unknown, but the divine that's got our back. And I want to share a little quote from this book. This is Ernest Holmes' book on prayer, How to Pray Effectively from the Science of Mind. So many of you are familiar with his famous book, The Science of Mind. I like this one. It's thin. It's got a lot of examples of various prayers. So if you're stuck on any prayer, whether it's for health, for well-being, for finances, whatever it is, this is a great book. You can pick it up on Penguin Publishing. I know all of his books are on Penguin Publishing. Amazon. I think I got this one at Barnes & Noble. And one of the things that he shares, which I find very essential when doing prayer, very essential when wanting to shift and make that change in our life, is this very thing that he calls about the way of treatment. In his words, it is, in treatment, we must turn entirely away from the condition, because as long as we look at it, we cannot overcome it. As long as we look at it, we cannot overcome it. By thinking upon the condition, we tend to animate it with the life of our thought and thereby it is perpetuated and magnified. So there we go. How much of your time, you may, dedicate prayer in a moment of time, but how much of your time do you go back telling that story, whether it's in your own mind or to your friends or your family, or even, sharing it out on social media, right? That's magnifying it with the many consciousnesses. So if we're spending 80% of our time or 90% of our time within our problems, that's our dominant vibration. And of course the universe, ask and it will be delivered, right? That's our asking. Like Jim Grove said, we're always doing it. If we're constantly in that vibration of focusing on the problem or focusing on the lack or whatever that condition is, then regardless of how much we may be, articulated to the universe exactly what we want, we still didn't trust, we still didn't have faith, we still didn't surrender to the greater good. And so, I'm guilty of this too. And I want to share a story about Fani and myself, and Fani is my wife, for many of you who've seen her sing here at the center. But we had decided that we were going to buy a house here in Sarasota, Florida. And our house hunting journey was a little bit about this, going from the condition, focusing on the condition, to releasing and surrendering and letting the divine just happen for us. And so, as many of you know, it's a little bit of a crazy house market going on. Houses are on the market one day, off the market the next day, with prices and offerings that are $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 or more cash. And we're like, how do we even compete with that? And we were in a lease, and our lease was running out, so it was a matter of just a couple of months that we had to be able to find our place, our dream home, the place that we really, really wanted, that we were going to commit to as ownership. Now, we've owned houses before, and truth be told, one of our favorite homes of all times was when we lived in Maryland, Columbia, Maryland. It was a fixer-upper. It was an older two-story home. The yard was filled with these large sweeping oak trees, plenty of shade. The yard had space for gardening. Fani loves gardening. And for us, we had fixed that up to where it was absolutely perfect. We really, really loved living there. But that was the moment we actually sold it. That was when it was ready to be sold. And we went on our journey to Florida. So we moved to Cape Coral, Florida. And as many of you know, in Florida, the homes are a little different. Most of them, probably about 90% of them, are single story. Most of them are concrete block and stucco, and they're beautiful homes, but it was not necessarily what was our liking as compared to our home in Maryland. And the funny thing was the moment our kids, I think our daughters, Nicole and Ashley, were like 4 and 7 at that time, the moment they ran into the house, they ran, all around the house. Oh, we love this house. Oh, this beautiful Florida home. Opening and closing each door, arguing about who gets what bedroom. And finally they come back to me and Fani, and they're like, how do you get upstairs? And I'm like, we had to break it to them that, there really, really is no upstairs. And the two of them, of course, looked at each other puzzled, like, come on, Dad's lying to us. There's got to be an upstairs. There's got to be an upstairs. And finally, when they accepted that thought, they're like, okay, so how do you get to the basement? No basement either. It's a Florida home. And so even with us, it took a little bit getting used to, because there's something about that climbing up the stairs, to go to sleep at night, having a little office window where you can look out into the trees and seeing things from that higher level. And I think sometimes as we relate to prayer, we're able to only focus on the very things that are within the finite existence when we're really dealing with what's called the infinite. Spirit can see from that second story or that higher level, where sometimes our thoughts are just on ground level or even in the basement, and we have to release and let go and let all things possible flow to us. So as we went on this journey in Sarasota to try to buy our home, it got down to the point where, when we engaged in our conversation with our real estate agent, and we made our choices. We started looking at houses online, and she started sending us homes. It's all the basics, how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, where would you like it to be? And yet, we also wanted these special things that were like, the big shade trees. Can we have big shade trees? Can we have a fenced-in yard where our dogs can run? Plenty of room for gardening, a place that we call home, So it became frustrating. I just, face it, we had 2 months of nothing but looking at home after home after home. And each time we would make an offer, first we started at making offers below the asking price. We realized the market, in order to compete in this market, we had to go, 10,000, 20,000. I think even one time we went like 40,000 above the asking price. And each time we would get super excited, and only the next day to find out when a real estate agent would call us and say, I'm sorry to break the bad news, but they accepted somebody else's offer. And so how many times does that happen to us in life, where we get excited and we feel like things are ready to happen, but then all of a sudden that bad news, and it totally knocks us for a ride. And I'm the positive person. I'm the accentuate the positive. So when that happened, it's like, there's got to be a better home. That spirit's pointing us in the right direction. But honestly, it did get, a little tiring, a little frustrating for both myself and Fani as well. And as time went on, we started having the fear come over us because our lease was running out. We're wondering, like, do we renew our lease? Do we, take the risk and go right up to the end and hopefully find something and close on it? Maybe, even the thoughts of putting our belongings in storage and finding a, inexpensive place to rent for a month or two. And with the housing market the way it was, this was something that we're just like, how do we trust? How do we know what is the best decision for us to make at this moment? And the one thing that I did, which I felt shifted everything, and was something that, we had talked about, was to pick up the phone, call the landlord, and express to them exactly our desires of buying a new home and the fact that we don't want to continue leasing, and what is the possibility of maybe just going month to month. What kind of arrangement can we make? And they said, we absolutely love you. We don't want you to leave. But, what we can do is, we can do month to month. And they only charge us $40 more per month, which was amazing. We were thinking it's going to be like double the rent. So automatically, that took us out of that fear state, took us into that comfort state, and we said, of course, let's do the month to month. And we had made a decision at that moment, considering the way everything was going. We told our real estate agent, she had lined up some houses, weekend after weekend. We were just nothing but looking at homes. And we said to her, you know what? We'll come out, but if we don't find anything today, we're just going to take a break. We're just going to sit back and relax, and we did the month-to-month thing. So we kind of broke it to her, and we already paid for 1 month, and anyways, we did. We looked at the houses that one last day, and we looked at it with a completely different attitude. We didn't have that anxiety like we had to make a quick decision or had to make an offer. And honestly, both Fani and myself, we didn't see one house that we absolutely adored, that we absolutely loved. And we kind of walked away. The last house, when we left, we were standing in a driveway. We told our real estate agent we absolutely appreciate her and her time, but because we've got the month-to-month thing, we're just going to kind of take a break from this house hunting thing for a while, trust, and everything's just going to work out. And I think as we got in our car, Fani and I kind of made a decision, let's just go to our favorite restaurant and get a couple of glasses of wine, just kind of like chill, just kind of relax. And no sooner, we're driving maybe a few minutes, and this app that she had downloaded for house hunting, suddenly a little pop-up comes up, and on that was a house that we didn't actually know existed. It had been on the market for 60 days. 60 days, and it recently had a price drop. It was down a street that we had never traveled, and it was right around the corner from where we were. So it's like, what do we do? All right, so we drove just a few blocks away, and we pulled into this place, and we're like, oh, a 2-story home, a house with a fence that's our dogs can run, a fenced-in yard, plenty of room for gardening, and a place that really felt like home. And both of us stood there and said, thank you, Spirit, thank you, Divine. We kind of just felt like this was it. This was it all along. And it had, again, been on the market for a while. And unlike making an offer 10, 20, we actually made an offer under the asking price, and they said yes. So I feel like in many cases, when we are stuck and we don't see the world working out, we're vibrationally holding ourselves apart from the very thing that is ready to be made manifest for us. Spirit hears our words, knows the divine knows exactly what is in store for us, knows our desires, our wants, our needs, and is always given that infinite supply, always providing life for us. But when we get stuck in that feeling of things aren't working out, or that doubt, whether we deserve it, or that focusing on the condition, like Ernest Holmes, we must turn away from that condition and to that, to see that golden rainbow and release and let all things possible flow. Even if it's one of our darkest moments. And I know many people, don't have places to live. And many people struggle, with chronic disease, struggle with many things. But even in those places when we can get there, and release and shift, start to slowly climb up to that second level and accentuate the positive, then we can start to allow the things, the beauty of the universe to flow to us. I don't know if you saw this, but I don't watch a lot of TV, but quite often I'll see the video of a TV show. And I think it was American Idol or America's Got Talent or one of those shows. And there was this beautiful soul. She was, I think, 30 years old, young person, and she had dealt with cancer. I believe she said her diagnosis was a 2% chance of living. That's right, 2% chance of living. And as she shared to the judges, before she was getting ready to sing, she shared to the judges, she said 2% was better than 0%. I sat there and I said, that's amazing. And then she went on to say, I wasn't going to wait for everything to be perfect before I made the decision to be happy. I wasn't going to wait for everything to be perfect before I made the decision to be happy. Here's a person that obviously life was getting ready to sweep her away, and even in that dire moment, 2% chance of survival, to shift her attitude, to accentuate a little bit of positive, and to be able to express happiness even if life wasn't necessarily perfect on her terms. And if you have a chance, go watch. I think her name is Night Birdie. That's her stage name. I forgot her regular name. But the song is called I'm Okay. And I think that's the place where we get to that place of I'm okay, it's okay, and we relax in knowing and trusting that it's all going to work out. That's when things truly become miracles and they truly start to unfold. Now, I know many of the things that we talk about, spirituality, but I want to talk a little bit about how this connects to science. And this book right here, which is Spontaneous Healing of Belief, author Greg Braden, talks a lot about how spirituality connects to what we would call quantum physics, a whole different level of physics than what you and I may have been trained at in high school. And he talks a lot about the double slit experiment, which is also the observer effect. And you can YouTube him, and he's got a lot of information on YouTube. He goes into the history of Albert Einstein, Niels Bohr, and a lot of the other scientists. But around the double slit experiment, he says this: the original double slit experiment and all variations on it have been repeated and confirmed that the basic premise of our most spiritual traditions, which holds that the world around us is a mirror of our beliefs, a mirror of our beliefs. As you believe, so it is done unto you. Now, we can do this and create miracles in our life, but imagine what we can do for humanity. Imagine what we can do for the entire world, for the entire planet. If we stop and we unplug ourselves from that condition, whatever that view is on the television screen, whatever that 6 o'clock news story is, which for the most part basically is a little bit fear-based. But if we unplug from that, from social media, from the newspaper, from all that, and we start to walk outside and we start to realize that, hey, I am an essence of the divine. I am consciousness. And as one individual, a part of this collection of consciousness of this planet, I can start to plant the seed of seeing the better yet to be. You know, knowing peace, prosperity, joy, brotherhood, sisterhood for all, everybody getting along, complete harmony, the ability to have prosperity and equality on all levels, in all countries, and with all people and all races. We plant that seed, we can create a new way, a new day, and a new heaven on earth. It's possible. If you and I and all of us come together and anchor in the truth that we know, that prayer works, and we return away from the condition, turn away from that, the feeling of, you know, humanity being divided and problems and everything, and we start to see the golden rainbow of tomorrow, the new way, the new day, the new heaven on earth, we can manifest that. Now here's another song from Kelsey and Kevin called Follow Me There. Namaste.
A place where you can find some shelter. Follow me there. Follow me there. You want a hand to hold, someone to help you. Follow me there. Come on and follow me there. Where love like a river flows, peace like you never known, and joy never ending lives. A place where faith can find hope that'll never die. Follow me there. Come on and follow me there. You need a place to be your sanctuary. Follow me there. Come on and follow me there. Where you can lay down all those burdens you carry. Follow me there. Come on and follow me there. Where love like a river flows, peace like you never known, joy never ending lives. A place where faith can find hope that'll never die. Follow me. Can find their way, and the lonely find a friend, to where all is forgiven. Won't you follow me there? Follow me there, where love like a river flows, peace like you never known, joy never ending lives. Where faith can find hope that'll never die. Follow me there. Come on and follow me there. Won't you follow me there? Follow me there.
Follow me there. Thank you so much, Kelsey and Kevin, for sharing your gifts with us today. Your music has truly blessed us, as I'm sure it blesses so many others. Thank you. And Ron, thank you for your encouraging words, this or something better. What a great finale to our month of talking to God. And now that you've had this month's opportunity to discover the power and presence of talking to God, you can expand this experience and find even more very practical ways to use it every day to change your life. Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life is the name of a new class being facilitated by Kathleen Frankert. This class is about declaring your independence and having a new experience in your relationships, your finances, and your health, or any other area in your life. This 5-week class begins on Tuesday, July 13th. The details are on your screen. Registration deadline is July 11th. And see our weekly e-newsletter and our website for more information. You can also contact Kathleen for more information. This is an opportunity that you will treasure. Kathleen is a fantastic instructor. Her students love her. I hear rave reviews every time a class is completed. Students want to get in on the next one, and their lives are changing and transforming for the better. So won't you join this particular class? Sign up by July 11th. Change your thinking, change your life. Now here at the Center for Spiritual Living Sarasota, we want you to know that we are available to support you in knowing the power and presence of your spiritual essence. We offer support through prayer, inspiration, encouragement, and opportunities for virtual community and connection. And we really appreciate your financial gifts in support of us so that we can continue to offer our support to you. There are 3 simple ways to share your gift. On your screen, you'll see our website where you can select the donate button, which allows you to contribute via PayPal or credit card. Or you can mail a check to our address shown here on the website. Or set up automatic contributions through your own online banking. Our website is www.cslsarasota.com. And now I invite you to take your virtual gift in your hand and place it over your heart, blessing it as you share it, and know with me, my gift goes forth to heal, to bless, and to prosper, and the divine flow returns it to me multiplied abundantly. And please join me in our offering affirmation shown on your screen. I give thanks that I may share of my good, my love, and my support. Thank you so much. Now, would you like prayer support? Do you have a prayer request? On our website, notice the green prayer request button, which allows you to send us your prayer request. Our 4 licensed spiritual practitioners, Kathleen Frankert, Ron Frost, Jim Grove, and Jaron Nelson, stand by ready to know and affirm spiritual truth with and for you, no matter the situation. And did you know, as I mentioned earlier, these gifted practitioners are also available for spiritual coaching sessions by appointment. These offer the opportunity to explore a deeper understanding and practical application of the spiritual truth that eclipses your problem or your challenging issue. So for more information, check out their page on our website by selecting the Staffs tab on the left, and then the drop-down menu will have practitioners. And would you like news of upcoming events? Well, sign up for our weekly email newsletter here on our website, or click on our Facebook link. And 2 more reminders. So popular, every Wednesday from 7 to 8 p.m. are spiritual living circles via Zoom, and they're open to all. Note, there will be no circle this Wednesday, June 30th. No circle meeting. And then they will pick up in July. But this spiritual living circle is facilitated by spiritual practitioner Jim Grove, and it's a great time to connect in community. The circles are informal, inspiring, thought-provoking, and they are free. Email Jim Grove at the address on your screen to receive this week's Zoom link, the discussion questions, and a copy of the article in Science of Mind magazine that will be discussed. And finally, pop-up prayers with our spiritual practitioner, Jaron Nelson. These are 5 to 10-minute videos focusing on a particular topic with a short reading, an affirmative prayer, and an affirmation to take with you. And these videos are posted once a week on our Facebook page, our YouTube channel, and in our weekly e-newsletter. And now, as we conclude this time together, let us set the intention to move forward into our day and the week ahead in peace and in love. I invite you to join in singing our closing song, Let There Be Peace on Earth. The words will be on your screen. Thank you. Thank you for being with us. Have a wonderful week, everyone. We'll see you soon.
And let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be with God our Creator. We are family. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my soul.